All right, so we should be live. Um, and so there we are. And I'm going to be looking down because you're over here and my Foundry screen is over there. So if anybody is watching in the future, welcome. Um, this is only my third or fourth kind of online game, but I thought that this was so exciting that I invited some friends from Discord, from one of the Discord, and we're going to be playing today Deathmatch Island Part 1, as it were, of one of the Deathmatch Islands, and they do not know anything about it, but they know who their characters are, and they have rolled them up, and we have them. So I am just going to check my screen, make absolutely sure that I am live and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So we'll see how this goes. Um, and I'm not sure if we're still live, but whatever. Okay, I just want to make sure. I know that this is exceedingly tedious for those of you at home, but there's nothing worse than going live and then realizing you can't be heard, and that happened yesterday. So let me just take my ear out. Right, it seems to be working. Woohoo! Everybody can hear me properly? All right, just make sure that you don't have any echo. And uh, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you see the screen that I have and the setup that we have for today. Um, I am going to launch us right into the game pretty immediately. Um, you all find yourself on a ship. It's a small cruiser. Uh, One of you is manning the outboard motor. Um, Out of all of you, the person is Zane Kwan. And Zane Kwan is the person at the helm. Zane uh, is an interesting character. You'll see a picture of him if you're watching on YouTube. And uh, Zane is a Coast Guard officer. His competitor number is 256, and he finds himself in a white turtleneck with a gold line trimmed uh, lilac suit in what seems to be a cool online or a cool offshore kind of way, as the wind is breezing in his face as he's controlling this outboard motor and looking around him at everyone who's similarly dressed. And another person that's there who he sees is Bill Law. Bill Law is a retired high school teacher. He is competitor number 376. And uh, Bill uh, Bill is there, looking across from him, and he sees yet another individual who is dressed similarly. He has very nice hair. Blake Opatha. Blake Opatha is a filmmaker, and that's all he knows about himself, just like the rest of you. All you know about yourselves are your names and what you did vaguely for a living. He's competitor 99. The last of our stalwart companions is Calvin. And Calvin Black um, kind of has a gaunt type of look. He seems younger than everyone else there, and has kind of almost like a militaristic look, but also like a gamer look. He probably has calluses on his thumbs and on his fingers from clicking the shooters. He is a military simulation enthusiast, and his competitor number is 155. These four individuals have no clue why they're there. And so beforehand, I gave you all a sheet of paper, which was an invitation to Deathmatch Island, and on it were uh, some starter questions, some kind of get to know you questions. And so one of the things in Deathmatch Island is you start off by uh, uh, getting to know you, understanding each other, and so I turn it over to you all. Who wants to try to make some type of friendships here on this little boat as you approach an island that looks um, pretty industrial? It's it's choppy. It's overcast. But it's probably around maybe 20 degrees, maybe 18, 17 at the water. In American, that would be probably about 65 degrees and maybe 70 um, by the time you get to the island, maybe. So, one of the important aspects of creating a character is the notion of trust. Every time you ask somebody in the beginning like this a question of trust, you're going to find yourselves gaining a level of trust with the other person, and so asking the questions that I sent out is important. And so maybe turning more towards those will help you in the future because you're playing to win. Sure. Is there anybody that hasn't been asked a question or hasn't asked a question as yet? Yep. Remember the names. Anyone else asking a trust question or who hasn't been asked one? And these trust questions that you've asked, I encourage you as production to consider them when you're having um, competitions or encounters. They may end up helping you in a pinch. Who looks the weakest in the group? But there's a question from audience members. Audience is very important for whether or not you're doing well in the competition. And so I think we should answer that. Everybody. Well, oh, there's a drone over the boat, and it, uh, oddly enough, uh, there seems to be some type of technology that you don't know that you're being, you don't know that you're in a studio or that you're being broadcast, but uh, you don't know why you're here. You don't know. All you have is your introductory letter that essentially says, welcome and have fun. I think that I may have it right here. Um, yeah. Yeah. Have a read, Calvin. Oh yes, we hear you. You're just a little bit blurry. It's but you're back. You're back. Um so you uh see that you're approaching the image that's in front of you in the studio. The studio clearly shows uh pardon me. Oh, damn it. You don't have token. Oh no, no, no. I can do that. I just have to configure it and make sure that you all have. What is it in lighting? Do I have now? Can you see it? Uh, Dito, how do I get it to do? How do I get it to show everybody everything? Global illumination. I have it. It says restrict visibility within the screen to vision of the tokens. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want fog exploration. Now, can you see it? Oh, maybe I need to reload it. Okay, let me. Yeah, okay. I know what I did. How's that? Okay, I'm just going to reload. It is grayed out. I never thought about the lighting of all of this stuff. Fog exploration, I don't have to worry. Global darkness level, it should be on 0. Yeah, no, 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 I want it to be shown. Uh, you finally got it? Awesome. Finally. All right, good. Now I have to do that for each and every one. But but that's okay. So this is what you see before you. You are approaching an island. The island, as you can see, is very industrial. It's it's uh, it looks very rusty. You hear in the distance shooting. You certainly feel that there's uh, a lot of people in these purple shirts moving back and forth as you're approaching the island. And you get a sense of this uh, tension and the reality that not only have you forgotten a lot of who you are, your memories, your spouses, you're able to remember simple things like when your worst haircut was, but you can't remember much else. And so you're flying blind, as it were, in this uh, kind of approaching a terrible situation. Um, there's a stench that's coming across as you approach. A stench that's acrid. It's by industrial byproducts. You have a kind of dust cloud, dust that's coming up on the wind. As you're approaching, there's a dock with a little bit of a covering, and you're able to see a group of people kind of huddled behind a number of smaller kind of shacks as a lot of battling is going on at the beach. And there's this big haze. It's not simply uh, kind of a cloudy day. There's almost like an industrial haze that's building over this area. And so, what I would like to know is as you move forward, um, what are you thinking? There's a larger group. There seems to be some buddy, possibly a man screaming orders to people. There's also what looks like a couple of groups that are in an argument behind where these buildings are, and uh, so as you approach the island, what's going through your minds? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so you're able to get to the dock. No, it's in the distance. You're behind. Uh, you're behind, so you do not see um, anything. There's nothing in the boat. Uh,
Container.
it's pretty much empty.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a one-way trip for the boat.
Yeah.
We could probably dismantle the engine and find some sharp pieces of metal, maybe.
Carrying the off-board
I feel like-
motor around.
Yeah. Well, I bet you those
Yeah.
people over there have something like a weapon or something useful. It's a lot easier to take it from them.
I'm not sure it's easier to take when we have no weapons and they have weapons.
Oh, I can talk them into it.
Oh, then you
I,
can.
I,
You're
I work in
welcome.
Hollywood,
That's good.
I think.
Yeah, you can say you're one of the producers maybe of this show, and
I
you
don't
can
think
make
so.
it sound real.
Yeah, but I can probably convince them.
So, you are now on a toxic beach. You are with this group of two groups that are maybe about 12 people each, and there seems to be a leader in both of them. Um, Kind of talking together. They seem to be trying to negotiate uh, some aspects of how they're going to proceed. Um, One of the individuals that you see has, if I can grab my stuff, um, you see that uh, they're pretty dominant. They are, uh, they kind of look relatively suave, and they have glasses. This person that you see is, she may be Oriental. She certainly has a confidence about her. Her name is Emily. I don't know if you can see this. I will try to put my hand behind.
Yep.
Mhm. I mean, sure. Okay.
So Emily is one of the people speaking, and she's speaking to somebody who looks like this, and she's a woman as well. I think you can see her name. Her name is Eloise.
Mhm.
And she's quite thin. She looks as if she's very capable. And they're having an argument about Emily wants to get off the island. She's definitely not comfortable with a whole bunch of people getting recruited by someone. And the person who's recruiting them also has glasses. And you hear people speak about Ephraim, or they call him Mason. And this person, if you can see him, is again very dashing. But he's kind of commanding others to take shots and cause problems. He's saying, if you don't join me, this is the Ephraim guy, if you don't join me, you're going to all die. And he's got a very large group around him that are just picking off people who are kind of coming around the woods, who are landing in docks that are kind of a little bit further away. So you now are faced with an option. What are you going to do? You're kind of hiding with these other two groups. One wants to get the hell out of there. The other one is pushing toward winning the competition. We need to win, but we can't join this maniac, is what Eloise is saying. And there's a couple of men who seem to be kind of gathered around her. There's some older people, some younger people. Everybody's an adult, but everybody's of different ages, different ethnicities, different genders, and identifications. What are you going to do now? So you can talk amongst yourselves. The leader is for this section, Zane. Zane is your leader, and I will put a picture of Zane up to make sure that everybody realizes that Zane is the person who is in charge for this section. Zane is going to decide what your approach is and what your goal is. So what's the approach that you all are going to take? The way Deathmatch Island works is essentially you have you get a D6 for your name. You get a D6 if you're able to use your talent, whatever that may be. So it may be being a Coast Guard, may be a filmmaker, may be retired. So you have to use your imagination of how this and previous experiences could come into play. The military simulation guy obviously knows tactics. So, depending on how you approach this, will also be what aspect you use in determining your, I guess your future, as it were, like what you're going to roll. So it's either going to be a social game or a snake mode game. Social is happy convincing. Snake mode is lying through your teeth and conniving, sneaking. Challenge beast is competition, athletics, really getting into a challenge. And deathmatch is anytime you pull a gun or use a weapon or are faced with a weapon challenge. It will be deathmatch, and you will face the consequences with an injury. If you fail your rolls against my rolls, you will suffer fatigue. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. As you gain stuff, you'll be able to use those to your advantage. So, and of course, with trust, let me just ensure that you all understand. Now that everybody has marked down 2 trusts, so everybody has 2 trusts with each of your fellow players. So Zane will have 2 with Calvin, 2 with Blake, 2 with Bill. Bill will have 2 with Blake, 2 with Calvin, 2 with Zane. How you use trust? You can bolster yourself. You describe how your companion has assisted you in the action, and they give you a copy of their name dice, so you get an additional d6. And so you mark off that trust, leaving you with 1 for that individual. Blocking harm for you is you'll determine how they block you and take the harm and help you out. And also there's follow your lead. You can spend trust with the leader, and instead of taking the leader's advice, you can change the leader's mind by using that trust. But at the moment, let's just keep it simple and think not about how to gain more dice, but how are you as a group going to approach this situation?
Okay, so at this point in time, Milsim is running wild. We haven't necessarily approached any group, but I've assessed the situation. We know that there's the big wild group that's that Mason, Ephraim Mason is, yelling at people, and they're they've got ahead of the game basically, and they're starting early. And then in front of us, we have the 2 groups. We've got Eloise, and we've got, was it Lucy or something?
Emily.
Emily Cho.
Emily and Eloise. One of them wants to just like, oh, we need to get off the island. The other one's like, no, Emily, and the other one is saying, oh, we've got to play this. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
There is, just to flesh this out, and remember, Zane is the one who is going to kind of discuss with the 3 of you how to approach this. So all of you know that Blake is a filmmaker, Zane is a Coast Guard officer, Bill is a retired high school teacher, and Calvin is a military simulation expert. Or enthusiast, as it were. Your impressions of the island is that it's toxic, so you don't know if that's going to affect you. There's a lot of scrambling around. It looks like toxic water. There's crates being opened. You see a box in front of you which says open in case of emergency. The other 2 groups are too busy discussing to care about that. Both of them are trying to get you to join them in escaping the madness around them. They seem like they may go off in different directions, though they may also go in the same direction depending on what you have to say to them. So it's exhausting. There may be toxic poisons in the air or around you, and depending on the way you go, it could be dangerous, and you could end up getting shot. So, Zane, discuss amongst your team members quickly what you think.
Well, my thought is it will always end in a death match, right? So we should count for that from the beginning. So that should be a strategy to outlive the others.
So we need to equip ourselves.
And there's strengths in numbers. We need to recruit allies.
Yes.
Yeah, but this Ephraim looked like is like sorry for the word, like an asshole, and
Yes.
he probably not a good fit to be a leader.
And I'm
No,
thinking
you have to
also
carry.
that, yep, we need to be at the top. If we join him, we will be one of his foot soldiers and we will be expendable. But if we are the ones leading this group as we expand and get more followers, we could have others being expendable instead.
Yeah.
I feel like I like I think where Eloise was the one who of the smaller group wants to play, and Emily is the one that is talking about leaving the island.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think-
Eloise, maybe we can throw our weight behind her and get her to be a good ally.
Now,
Somebody to swing to our side, because I think we're all on the same page with her.
as you're discussing, and as Zane is kind of taking the lead in this, Eloise and Emily, you all gather around her, and you see that they produce a little bit of a map, and you can only get to see a glimpse of this map, but everybody gets to see this map. And I would ask you not to look higher up or any further up other than to past the hills through this valley. And Eloise is saying, Emily, just all we need to do is make it to the sludge this whatever it's called, this sludge market, and then it looks as if there's maybe a way out for you, but I want to keep on playing. I want to explore further. And she kind of points up, but you don't really have time to see the full map at this point from your vantage point. So, because all of a sudden, on your watches, and you all have watches, they're white, they have a black screen, they have an orange symbol of this skull and this globe, and it's a screen. It says on it, your time is approaching. Please, and then as it scrolls up, it says, please take action or face the consequences. And then it says, stay tuned for your audience accumulation, and so that is what you hear.
I knew it was a TV show.
Yeah, good. Blake, can you talk to these two women and maybe get us to join them? And Bill, can you go and fetch whatever is in that?
You have to do
yeah.
it as a group. So your action, your
I'll split the party.
you can split it maybe later on, but probably it's in your best interest to stick together as a team, as the letter said that it's really good idea to stick together. So what are you trying to accomplish? What is your goal? What how are you going to get how are you going to accomplish what you want to accomplish? So,
well, Zane, I think we should convince.
What's your approach?
Yeah, I think we should convince Eloise and that group to join with us, and then
Yep.
we'll have a bigger group, and then we can, as a group, move away from this toxic beach to the sludge market, which sounds
Yeah,
like a good place to be.
Yeah,
Or better.
exactly. I think that's a good idea. I'm just thinking
I,
this box line over there, we
yeah,
should
I,
open
I
it and
guess
let's
get.
let's
we
get the
need to
group first, and then hopefully we can grab that box as we head out.
maybe something in that box will make them convinced that they join us because we don't have anything with us. Maybe there's something interesting in the box to check it first before we talk to them. Maybe
Yeah, how far away is the box?
Is your plan then? It's far enough that it could be a problem. It depends on how you do.
We would be.
Is the question like, do we have to pick an either or between the box or the people, or can we
You can say
do the people
you
and then
can
hit the box
say
on the way
that
out?
you can say that you're going to get the box with the people, but I need to know from Zane, how are you approaching this? And what that essentially means is, are you going to be using deathmatch, maybe fisticuffs? Are you going to be using a social game where you're trying to make friends and influence people? Are you going to use snake mode and try to sneak or lie your way around? Are you going to use competitor mode where you're going to use your athletics to grab the stuff and hightail it out of there? But remember, remember that you only have 1d8 in one of these particular aspects, depending on your background.
And is this
And-
for the whole game? We choose an approach
Yes.
that will and get a bonus for these actions.
You'll get the number of dice so you'll get a name dice. You will try your hardest to get your occupation dice to really integrate that story in. You'll get one of your capabilities, so either social game, snake mode, challenge beast, or deathmatch. And upon you deciding, Yun, everyone else will roll the same dice. But you can
So
spend.
just one, but doesn't it just one of us have to succeed? Or do we all have to succeed?
At that success
depends on the challenge.
You'll probably succeed, but the way it will be, what happens is the person who rolled lowest will speak first about how that happened. The person next lowest will speak on top of that about how events unfolded. The person after that, maybe they succeeded, will speak about how they succeeded and maybe helped you along the way. And the person who has succeeded or who is the top of the order, even in failing, will become the new leader. If you fail, you take a fatigue. If it's risky, you don't get anything. You don't get any rewards. Or you get less rewards based on how many failed. So at the moment, just try to think about it in terms of kind of the meta story. Think of the approach as, what capability are you going to use as a group? And if you want to add an extra dice, you will use, say, a fatigue, and that fatigue will give you a second dice to roll. So you then might be able to convince me or convince me that you're able to use social game even though somebody's chosen it to be a challenge beast. You will take the two highest rolls, the two highest dice out of your pool, and it will fight against my highest dice and the danger level. So the danger level can be a 4, a 5, or a 6. And my dice can be anywhere from a 6, generally an 8, a 10, sometimes a 12, but I don't think that we'll see that. So
I need to understand a little bit more what effects my choice will have. So if I, for example, choose deathmatch,
you're somehow or other you're
actions...
fighting your way. You're fighting your way out of the situation. That would be a deathmatch choice.
But would it limit our actions to just be aggressive actions?
That's right.
So we cannot use this trying to convince people if we choose deathmatch.
No, if you're trying, you can lie, which would be snake mode or stealth, or you can use social game, which would be convincing people. At the moment, Eloise and Emily are trying to convince you to do their thing. You can make that choice of which group you want to belong to. At the moment, it seems as if you're going towards Eloise, and that's fine. And so you will narrate that afterwards. But if you want to accomplish something, just tell me what your approach is going to be in getting to, say, the sludge market to get away from the death match that's happening at the moment in the vast majority of the beach.
Oh.
I think social game is what we're kind of talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. So it would become social game, get people on outside, then go to the box, then get out of the beach.
Who are you trying to convince? Are you Eloise is already on board. Are you trying to convince Emily to join you? And I would assume that in this social game, you're also attempting to get them to help you open up this box in emergency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Sounds good. So I'm going to enter in my dice of what I believe this situation is. And so I'm going to plug in, and this is a danger level 4, I will tell you that. It is exhausting. Debris is everywhere. It is poisonous. But I'm going to say, because you are not in a terrible situation, I'm going to say that it's probably not as dangerous as that. So I'm going to say this and this. So I'm going to roll my dice, and everybody should see what the marker is. So you have to beat 11. Okay, so you have to beat 11. And now, the way that you roll is you can choose whatever method you want, but we're going to go through each individual, and I would like you to tell me how, what dice you're using and how you're making this happen. So I'll start off with Calvin.
Sure. So in this, I'm going to use my name.
So that's D6.
Yeah, so 1d6. Part of the social game that we're playing is I'm going to mention my military simulationist enthusiasm. So I'm going to say the plan is this. This is the situation. This is the plan. We're going to grab that box. We're going to head for the hills. We're going to and reassess our location, because we right now this is danger zone. You can hear the gunfire, etc. So that's
leadership. Yeah.
Sure. So hopefully that's my name,
Absolutely.
my occupation, and capability. So that's 3d6.
3d6 is your capability. If you take a fatigue, you can take a second capability switch as deathmatch. But remember, you've only got so many fatigue on your character sheet.
I'm okay for.
All right.
I'm okay with 3d6 for now. I think.
Before you roll, keep your 3d6. I'm going to move on to Blake. And Blake, how are you approaching this? What dice are you using? You're using your name? How can you use your filmmaking in this?
Well, I figure that I have done a lot of negotiations with like studios and financiers, and so I'm going to go into full pitch mode. Give them an elevator pitch of like, how this could really like, benefit everybody.
Absolutely. So that's certainly your occupation. And what's your dice for being a filmmaker?
My dice for my capability?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a D8 in social game.
So you've got a D8, so you've got 2 D6s and a D8.
Yep.
Anything else that you want to use?
I would like to use Bill's Trust.
Excellent. How does that look? He's the retired high school teacher.
Yes, with the pink hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of like use his trust in me and like use him as like sort of like to prove to Emily that we're not like those other people. We actually have their best interests in heart. Just look at Bill here with the pink hair.
Absolutely. All right. So you've got 3d6, 1d8. If you could gather those up or mark them down or remember them, I'm going to now turn to Bill Law, the teacher who has now been kind of convinced that that Blake has got this. So, Bill.
Yeah, I will use my social game. It's D8 as well.
Yes.
I will introduce myself as in a friendly manner. So
you've
D6.
Got your name?
Yeah, and I'm a retired high school teacher, so I'm maybe good at convincing. If I have good at convincing high school children to shut the hell up and listen to what I'm saying, I think I'm good at it.
Absolutely.
At these people.
Do you want to use anything else, or are you good at this time?
No,
you
I'm
have
good
2 D6 and a D8. Remember, the top 2 results are added together. Hold your dice. And Zane, last but not least. You have your name?
Yep. And also I want to be stable and trustworthy and a little bit dangerous, as I probably had some weapons training in my... So I'm not saying much. I'm just stable, rock.
So using confidence.
Yep.
Okay. And what do you get for your capability? Another D6?
Not sure. D6 if it's not
it's
violence. It's social, then it's D6. Yep.
Then there you go. You have 3D6. So everybody should have your dice. If you could please roll them in some way and tell me what your number is.
Keep the 2 highest?
Yes, you keep the 2 highest. So, Calvin, I'm...
About 5.
Okay, so, Calvin, what did you get in total?
A total of 6, but I rolled a 2, a 3, and a 1.
So it's a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Zane, what did you roll?
2 highest. 2 and 2.
4. Okay, this is going really well. Bill.
8 and a 6, 14.
14. And last but not least, Blake.
I got 12. I rolled a 4, 4, 5, and 7.
So you got a 12.
We only take the 2 highest and the
2 highest.
Only the 2 highest.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Bill and Blake are the highest. Zane, you are the lowest, and so you will go first before Calvin. So, Zane, describe to me how. So, first off, you're going to take a fatigue. So you and Zane are going to take a fatigue. So mark a fatigue on your sheet, and tell me how you fail, and what have you tried to do, and how have you failed in it?
I think I try to puff myself up and look important and a little bit dangerous, as I said, but I totally fail. I look ridiculous and not at all that safe rock that I can lean on.
And in the in the studio, um, people at home have a glimpse of Zane in maybe even AI doctored, but there is a picture of Zane in his life, and so the audience gets an opportunity to look at this. Zane, you can mark 10,000 followers, which means one slash on your followers section. So you got some people to follow you, but not a lot. They're losing confidence in the leader. Calvin, how did you fail at what you were trying to do? What does it look like?
So in among the conversations, trying to get in and I think potentially come across a bit too much bravado, and it's misplaced because I'm like, oh, this is the plan, this is what we're gonna do. Come on, let's get on with it. And it's clearly it's just like it's either going over everyone's head, or they're just not paying attention to me at all because they're so much more engaged with the other two. So I'm just kind of like I'm a bit like, okay. I'm a little disheartened, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the two kind of military people are both a little bit uh, a little bit humbled by this experience. You also can mark down 10,000 followers, and you see on your wristwatch there's a beep, and there's like 10,000 followers. And at first you think, oh, this is pretty darn awesome. Um, and so you're starting to kind of, your brain is clicking in, and now it's Blake's turn. Blake is going to describe how has he succeeded in this task. You don't take you're not taking any fatigue for this.
Well, I mean, Blake is back in his element as under high stress situation, trying to convince people. So that's when like his adrenaline kicks in, and then the magic happens, and he is super engaging and just comes across as exceedingly forthright, and you can see like Emily just like coming around to just trusting this group as like having the right stuff, despite the two military guys kind of like losing it in the background. But and he kind of again has brought over Bill as like he trusts Bill, brings Bill in, but then obviously Bill blows him away
as Bill does. What does Bill do?
Yeah, I'm just talking calmly to Emily and Eloise.
Eloise, yeah.
Just talking calm. Yeah, I know that you sense that Ephraim is not a good fit to join. He seems like an unstable person. I guess we have no other option but trust ourselves. This is the only hope that we can trust the humanity inside us, because everybody loses his self-restrict, and And I will try to convince Emily that there is no way to get out of the island. It seems the only way is just stick together as human beings as much as possible.
Right. Excellent. And Bill, on your, or actually Blake, on your wristwatch, there's a big flashing of 50,000 followers. Six and
Wow.
no, you look at it and you think that it's a 5, but it's actually a 6. 60,000 followers. So please mark off 6 blocks. And for Bill, you get 110,000
Oh.
followers. So when the others are kind of looking over your shoulder and seeing that you got 110,000 followers and they only got 10,000 followers, everybody starts to realize that succeeding in this game is very beneficial. Two of you failed, and so the leader gets to decide who gets what. And you did actually get to the box and were able to open it. And so, Bill, you are going to distribute the following. And the character sheet is very good. It will show you where to tick off what you've got. And so, this is what you have to distribute. You have one Walvier P99 semi-auto pistol. Just one of the P99. You have 3 survival gears. And you have 2 Remington shotguns. How are you going to distribute the 2 shotguns, the pistol, and the 3 survival gears?
I'm not very good at weapons. Who's good at shooting?
I can shoot.
So,
Moi.
Yeah.
Moi.
Calvin and Zane both are like chafing. Calvin is really chafing at the bit for everything.
I'll give each one of them a shotgun, and I give Blake a pistol.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so Blake has the pistol. Who gets the 3 survival gears?
I will get one. I will give Blake one.
Thank you.
I will give a coin toss.
Roll a die.
Die toss. Yeah, I will give Calvin the other one.
I will remember this.
That's right. It's called Deathmatch Island. Play to win. Don't give up after the first failure. It says on the screen as it rolls. Be nice to people. Trust no one.
You know.
And so
I will.
Go on.
No, nothing.
Okay, so you make it through this. What obviously was a lush valley, and the hills are. Everything is brown. Everything looks decayed and rotten. This acrid smell continues in your nostrils. Emily reluctantly decides to follow behind with her group of about 7 or 8 people. Eloise has about 12 people, and they both seem to have a person next to them, kind of like their right-hand person. You see that Ephraim and his very large group, possibly 80 to 90 people, and you hear other groups around you. Shooting is coming from all angles. They've gone off, but you don't exactly know where they've gone to. And as you move up toward this area, they start to show you a bit more of the map. And the map indicates that there's a number of different locations. And I'm going to see if I can make this show for people online who are watching so that they can see the options. And I think that's about it for what I can get for everybody. So you all get to see the various nodes on this island and the scope of the island. It's probably a fair walk to this area. And you find yourself going to an area that can only be described as a market surrounded by black brick structures. It has billowing smokestacks. There are vendors here, but they almost seem zombie-like. Everybody has dirty clothes, but they're dirty in the sense that they used to be lavender uniforms like you have, but they're torn. And again, they almost look like zombies, but they're not zombies. There's this almost a gluttonous approach to this black liquid that they are consuming. And it's pretty darn vile. It doesn't smell good at all. And it's not a nice place. So you find yourself there. Your impression is that the vendors are almost just going through the motions. They bump into passersby. They're bumping into Eloise's and Emily's people as well as yourselves. And this sludge is kind of everywhere. What do you want to do? The situation is that it looks very risky. So there's going to be a consequence to this corruption on, and so competitors will miss out on getting rewards if they fail. There seems to be some weapons and stuff buried in the sludge, possibly. Finally, again, nobody who's just entered in is drinking from these sludge buckets, troughs, but they certainly are, and they can't get enough of it.
What the hell is going on?
And you can see the picture. And so I will put Bill up on the screen so that people can see that Bill is the one who is leading this group. And I love this. And so the announcer is there speaking to the audience saying, as you can see, we have found an archival picture of Bill Law in his teaching days. As you can see, Bill is indeed a victim of high school shenanigans. But here, will he win? Will he shine? Will he play to win?
Oh.
So, Bill, you are now going to tell me in consultation with your fellow teammates what the plan is. What is your approach? Remember, think mentally about those dice and what you're good at, what your people are good at, and think about what is your goal in this. And instead of thinking about getting to the next place, think about just dealing with this place, and then we'll deal with the next node afterward.
And we saw their weapons in the sludge.
In the ground, in the sludge,
No.
And
this feels like snake mode to me.
Yeah, were these people contestants like us?
It looks as if they were.
And what
Okay.
are they
Like,
selling or
maybe.
offering?
They're hooked on the sludge. If
They don't seem to be offering anything. They just seem like they're vendors, but they're not really vendoring much.
So they're not talking. They're not want to.
No.
So we can just grab what we want.
They seem to be, if anything, they look as if they're trying to sell this black sludge, but it doesn't even look as if they're collecting any money or anything. They're almost like robots, maybe? You just don't know. And of course, you do see the occasional camera. There are drones flying around. And at the moment, you believe that this is a television show. Don't let what's on the screen for the audience on YouTube influence what this may or may not be. It's certainly being broadcast, but you don't exactly know what's going on.
We should collect as much as possible. If not for our own sake, we can deny others equipment.
That's a very good point.
So, Bill, take it all in from your competitors.
I wonder if we should dump out all of the buckets and try to free the people from this addiction.
They're very, very heavy, hugely heavy, and you probably cannot tip them over.
So it sounds like we can't disrupt this place. So
I'm not sure I want to. I think this is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I want to just get out of here. So if we can collect some things and move on, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I guess we can quietly collect anything, not trying to fight them or.
So like Snake Mode, try to sneakily get some stuff without.
Yeah.
Because if they turn on us, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see a gentleman in the background, and let's see if I can get this up for you.
Yeah, he doesn't look suspicious at all. Okay.
No. And he's looking at the sludge as if he might drink some.
Do you need some sip of water, mister? I think you're thirsty.
We'll play that out if it comes about. It's we still need a approach, and if you could give me an approach soon, that would be good. As you hear that there's kind of increasing beeps going off on your little.
Just as a thing for us as players, I think this game very much runs you do the mechanics and then you do the narrative.
Absolutely.
So the role playing comes in as we fill the story in after we establish what the story is through the mechanics. So we need to pick the challenge or the whatever it's called. Pick
the goal.
The capabilities.
Roll it, and then we fill in the story.
Very well said.
Interact with the narrative, the NPCs.
I guess we will go silently, trying not to disrupt these people. So we're trying to go pick up the weapons that we can, or the items that we find along the way, but not trying to disrupt or anger these people. We're just going silently walking. That makes sense.
We should hide everything we can't pick up, if possible.
Again, we'll think about that. The role playing later. Think about your approach. So, Bill, if you could give me an approach.
So the approach, if you want to go silently, it is snake or social?
Snake.
So you will go snake then.
Okay. And what is your goal?
This place is not looking good. We need to collect as much items as we can, but we need to move out of this place because this place doesn't look good.
Okay.
So that's our goal.
All right. So I am going to pop up my little dialogue dice rolling screen, and I am going to look at how the challenge goes. Um, this is an interesting place, and I'm gonna say that it is certainly. All right, so I think the challenge level for this is relatively low.
Okay.
And so
10. Okay.
So you have to beat a 10. So I will go in the reverse order of how it went last time. Zane, how are you going to add your dice up for this? What are you going to do? So you got your name, D6.
Yep. And the snake mode is D6 too.
Yep.
And I guess Zane has worked with oil spills and flotsam and stuff, so he knows how to pick stuff out of grimy grounds.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm not using any other dice right
All
now.
right. So if you can collect your 3d6, we'll
Yep.
move then to Calvin.
So I get my name dice.
Mhm.
I'm gonna use my social, which is D6.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to. I don't think I can. Oh, we could say my experience playing Metal Gear Solid. My military simulation enthusiast. A bit of Metal Gear Solid, so sneaking around, a little espionage.
Need a cardboard box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
If there's anything
you
back.
probably recognize some of the probably what is spoiled in this sludge, the weapons. Maybe you
Mm.
recognize what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah, okay. But also I want to use a trust
Excellent.
of Zane. I'm going to use one of my trust with Zane. So that's 4 dice.
Excellent.
Nice.
And so now I turn to Blake.
Okay. So I have a D6 for my name. Snake mode, so I get a D6 for that. As a filmmaker, I have been on many very messy, sloppy sets. I'm sure. I have this vague idea that I worked on a Kevin Costner film that was just mud, and you had to avoid being in the shot and all of that. So I have that muscle memory to draw upon. And then I'm going to use a trust with Zane, so that he
Or
can
Zane.
bolster me to make sure that, like as a lookout, to make sure that I'm like, as I'm sneakily grabbing like a weapon and sticking it under my lavender jacket, that nobody is noticing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Bill.
Yeah. I will use also my name. My social game is sorry. My snake mode is a D6. Retired high school teacher. How we will go through the mud? I guess
Maybe
uh,
extracurricular activities? Did you
yeah. Maybe when I was uh, mm, I will I was a high school teacher, and I was also the coach of the high school football team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we used to train under the mud. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Excellent.
mm.
Excellent.
And I will use also a trust with Blake.
How are you using that?
I'm building confidence. I was probably not confident in my ability, but feeling that there's people around me that feel that they can trust me and I can trust them, maybe give me confidence to navigate this hellhole.
All right. So,
So it's the trust is a D6, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, but you have to mark it off.
Yeah, each one has a 2, right?
Yes.
To trust.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So everybody has their dice, and I'll ask you to roll. And just tell me what your the combination of your 2 highest rolls are.
9. So it's a fail again.
Yeah, same 9.
Okay, so hold on. So okay, so wait a second. So Calvin, you're a 9. Zane is a 9. Bill?
The 2 highest is 6 and 5, 11.
11. And Blake?
10, 6 and 4.
Right. So, once again, it's a similar situation. I forget exactly. Jed and John, do you remember how a tie works? Do you go back or do you just roll a d6 to see?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
I
either.
don't remember.
I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to say that we'll keep the same order as last time. So Zane, you are first to describe how do you fail in this sludge pit of a market of zombie types, drinking sludge with a bunch of Emily Cho supporters and Eloise Love supporters. You find out actually that Emily Cho is a paleontologist, and you find out that Eloise Love is a magician's assistant.
But not scantily clad, I guess.
No, she's wearing the same as all of you.
Well, I fail by not trying to. I can't stomach this black goose. I'm just. I'm not really want to dig into it, and then I also fall and mess myself up with all this black and goo and destroy my nice lilac suit.
So it's dirty now, and you've fallen face first?
Yep.
Okay. Calvin.
It says here on page 46 to break a tie, each hero rolls their name die until a clear winner is established.
Okay. So we'll continue as it is, but in the future we will use that. Thank you. So Calvin.
Calvin has gone around and he thought he found some usable items, like they were, stuck in the mud or in the sludge pits and stuff. And he was like, I think that. But it turns out everything that he picked up was just a dud. Like it was inoperable. You'd have to spend too long trying to clean it. So he tried, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely right. That's a good way of interpreting that for sure. We turn now to Blake again with a 10. You succeeded. Yep.
So yeah, I was able to grab some things and kind of hide them, and then like kind of whistle nonchalantly whenever anybody looks in my general direction, even if they are sludge zombies. And I feel pretty good about it.
That's awesome. There you go. And Bill?
Yeah, same as Blake, trying to get anything that will help us, but it's also leaning on Zane and picking him up from the mud and wiping his suit.
Okay.
We will get this together, Zane. We will get this together.
All of you at the same time. The buzzer goes off, and you look at your watches, and Calvin and Zane both have another 10,000 followers. But because of the physical exertion, you both take a fatigue. And for Blake, you see that you get 50,000 followers. And Bill, you get 100,000 followers. So 10 marks on the follower chart. And
so additional 10, okay?
Yes. And Bill, once again, you are still the leader. Now, for those of you who succeeded, sorry, my dog is ripping something up that I'm sure he's not supposed to rip up. Hold on a second.
Whose homework have they got?
Sludge people.
Okay, it was just a towel. It's not important. When you have a 120-pound dog, you kind of wonder, is it like a game book or something? Anyway, all right, so we're back to the game, and I can see that you did find some rewards, but competitors who succeed at this contest may choose to impersonate one of the locals, and you may try to have a bowl of sludge if you so desire.
Bowl of sludge.
It's being offered to you.
Sure, I'll take it, because when in Rome, it'd be rude not to.
What do you think, Bill?
What the other option?
The other option is not.
Politely refuse.
Is politely refuse, yes. In your so absolutely wonderful 200,000 follower way.
I will, when in Rome.
Are you okay? So you're gonna try to drink this stuff. Will both of you roll a d6 and tell me what you get?
I got a 4.
I got a 4 as well.
Both of you get a d10 advantage dice.
Okay. Eat the sludge. Eat the sludge.
Eat the sludge. So, there are 2 Walther P99s up for giving out. You also find a PSG-1 sniper rifle that Calvin is drooling over, black sludge, of course, and 2 survival gears. How, Bill, do you wish to continue to be the leader? And I must remind everybody, if he gets it for a 3rd time, you may consider using your trust to throw him either in front of the fray or taking away his options for leadership. Yes. How are you going to distribute those?
First, because I guess last time who didn't get the survival kit? I will give one to Zane. And for the pistol, I'll take one as well.
Yes. And the sniper rifle?
Sniper rifle, I guess give it to the military guy.
Okay. Awesome. So Calvin, mark down.
So 1 pistol is remaining. So yeah, I will give it also to Blake.
Okay.
Maybe you can do
Yeah. I'll chow you on fat.
Eloise and Emily and her group starts to get a little bit upset, maybe a lot, at your kind of hoarding the stuff that you're getting. You seem to be doing better than they are, and this competition, especially with Eloise's group, is starting to heat up. And you can see people looking at you with a level of jealousy um, and also this idea of we've got to grind this out, and maybe we're following people who we shouldn't be following. On the island, you will see that you are now at the sludge market, and it should be pinging. Where would you like to go next? You have 3 options. You have the mound, which and now you have the full map. You've kind of got pieces together, you've put it all together, and now you can see that there is a mound. It's got restricted area on it, and it's blacked out. You have Crusher Alley, and that has a little flag that says it's a challenge. You have the Flotsam Beach, which indicates that it's a point of interest. Where would you like to go?
Point of interest.
To the mound.
Pressure Alley. We do a competition. I think they'll give us prizes.
Yoon, what do you think?
Why not Crusher Alley? So we all have different opinions.
You all have different opinions. Bill, what's your thoughts? You're going to be the one that determines where you go. Unless you say where you want to go, and then somebody decides to spend trust to change the direction.
I want to go to the beach first.
Flotsam Beach. So, he indicates to everybody that I really think we need to go to the beach.
I'm going to spend a trust point to try to convince him to go to the Crusher Alley.
Okay, so you have done so. And therefore, you're going to the Crusher Alley.
Okay.
So, Crusher Alley it is. And this is number 9. And so, Crusher Alley. Well, now, you are going to love this place. And let's try to move it so that we can finish as close to 6 my time, 5 Jed's time, the early hours of the morning for Yun and Mohammed. But let us see what we can do here.
Can you enable token vision?
Oh man, this is one of those nasty ones. All right. I have the lighting. There, you should have it now.
Yep.
Let there be light.
Look at that. It's beautiful. Bill Law is still in charge. Poor Bill Law. And just the announcer has taken down his other picture. All right. So you find yourself in a strip of relatively clear land between towering junk stacks with a conveyor belt running through the middle. The conveyor transports the products of shredders, crushers, and compactors lined up beside it, sending processed waste deeper into the island. Your impression of this place is that there are cranes lined up like silent sentries along the tops of neighboring stacks, unmoving while hungry machines below continue to churn. The smell of friction burns in the air, and there's a barely visible klaxon, a loudspeaker, crackling in the background. Uh, uh, there is a signal that goes off all of a sudden, a klaxon in this crackling way starts to beep repeatedly, and you after these series of beeps, the cranes start lowering crates containing food, water, and other useful supplies into the machines, which will destroy them. Uh, Teams must recover crates before they are destroyed. If all teams get at least one crate, then the cranes will move to destroy. If all the teams get at least one crate, then the cranes will move to destroy all the crates as the teams attempt to leave. So, how are you going to approach this crushing situation? Eloise's team is certainly trying to grab as much stuff, seeing that beforehand you were getting more stuff. So they're really trying to get stuff, and they're very actively and aggressively trying to grab as much as they can. Emily's team is more cautious, but they realize that they're not going to survive unless they gather up stuff. So you're still 3 teams, but you're moving together. How would you like to approach this, Bill?
Go ahead, Calvin, if you want to say something.
So I was just getting clarification. So there's a placard or there's an explanation of the rules of this challenge that
Yes.
basically says that if all teams get at least one crate, then the cranes will attempt to destroy everything. So at least one team needs to not get something.
That's right. That's right.
So we could
and this
we could strengthen an ally. We can strengthen the Erlen Alliance with either or both of those teams by saying we're going to help them get their crates because we're well armed. We might be getting a bit peckish or a bit thirsty, but if they win any of those things, they may be willing to share because at the moment we're well armed and we're kind of protecting them. Not that that situation has necessarily come up.
I guess you're right.
We have more weapons, so we could use deathmatch.
Yes.
Deathmatch means that you're competing. Deathmatch would be you're competing dangerously against them, but it's already a dangerous contest because there's crushers going up and down.
Can we shoot the cranes or the crushers to stop them?
The AI was very uncooperative, and this is all that the production team provided.
Okay.
Yeah, it's theater of the mind enhanced, but don't take this as the image on the screen may be different from what you're actually seeing.
If you shoot the cranes, there is some sort of holographic armor or something
maybe it's all a holodeck. You don't know.
I mean, I'm just wondering. Like, it sounds like it would, like, is it better for us to try to challenge Beast and get crates as well, with the understanding that if everybody succeeds, nobody wins? Or is it better to try to, like, I don't know, get one team and together we like make sure another team fails.
Yeah, we can.
talking
Well,
to
we
Bill.
can. Yeah.
We could be the failing team if we agree to share the crates afterwards.
Would they share with us though?
that-
Because we haven't shared with them so far. So I think we're in a
I can,
bad negotiating position.
So
I can
We
share
have the
with them
weapons.
one survival kit and maybe give them one weapon as a good of faith.
So
if you use a weapon, okay, it's going to be dangerous against them. If you're not using a weapon,
I'll give it to them. I'm giving it to them as a sign of good faith.
Yeah.
Mm.
But just remember that this is
Mm.
a dangerous. This is a dangerous contest, just by the very nature of the crusher. Okay, so the crusher is dangerous in and of itself, and you don't know what the other teams are going to do, if they're going to escalate or if they're not. So I'm going to give you a minute, Bill, to figure out your approach. And again, I believe that the same thing can happen, that the approach can be changed by the use of trust. Or you could block harm.
So our position is just try to be social with them and let them get we will fail and they will share with us, and try to convince them for that.
well, it's a show of good faith if we participate but choose to lose, so that they have the greater chance of succeeding, assuming that we cannot join them and help them. This is my understanding, but also at the same time, I don't think this is something that we can't just stand idly by. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't. I think it's something that we have to do, but we don't want to do well. So maybe picking, because I was initially thinking if we could do a social game with them to support them. But the idea is, at least my idea, is that we're allowing them the time and space to show themselves off, so that we're not hogging the limelight, because we are in an alliance with them.
As a military simulation person, I'm just going to advise you that your observations of them do not give you a sense that they would give a damn either way, whether or not they succeed or fail, or if you give them anything. They're out to win, and you're just getting that vibe from them. And you're also getting a sense that in this high-risk area and a dangerous area, that there may be something that is actually worth winning.
That's a fair point. Okay, so scrap everything. I'm going to scrap everything.
Challenge.
I'm going to use deathmatch, and I'm going to use the sniper, and I'm going to.
If Bill wants you to. Bill, what's your approach? What do you think?
Yeah, if we are not going to share and they're not willing to share, I guess we can do a challenge then and try to get the things ourselves.
Okay, so you're going to try to use challenge to you're going to try to kind of use your strength and maneuver and try to run and grab stuff and use your athletic abilities.
Yes.
Okay. So,
any opposer? Anyone wants to oppose?
Okay.
I want to use deathmatch.
Are you going to spend that follow your lead so that you sway them to your idea?
So, okay, just quickly then. Is there a way that when I'm putting my dice pool together, can I take a fatigue or something
Yes, you may. You can take a fatigue and use deathmatch. Absolutely.
Okay. Is that in place of or as well as challenge based?
That's in addition to.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna do it on the fly then. I'm not gonna challenge leadership in this instance.
Okay. And so I imagine that in this situation you are willing to use your gun.
Yes.
Okay. So now what we will do is we will go to Zane. Zane, what dice are you using? Your name?
Yep. Maybe I'm used to crates and cranes as a skipper.
Absolutely. Give that to you, no problem.
And then D6 for challenge. And I may take up on Calvin's and use my Remington.
Okay, so mark
two.
down a fatigue.
That's my third. But maybe I won't take one when I lose.
Okay,
So that's
got,
a D8 in Deathmatch 2 then, and some D4s for the equipment acquisition.
Yes, if you're using a gun or a rifle or whatever, you can mark it off once and use those D4s. However many are marked down, you use that many, and they are in addition to the 2 top numbers that you receive.
So I can choose either 1 or 2 D4s to roll.
It depends on the weapon. It's automatic.
A shotgun lets you use 2. A pistol lets you use 1.
Yep. Okay.
And you have a shotgun.
Yep.
Okay, so you get 2 4s, 3 6s, and an 8.
Yep.
Okay, Calvin.
I'm gonna use my name, my occupation, challenge beast. I'm gonna take a fatigue to do deathmatch.
Yep.
And I'm gonna use the sniper rifle, which has a 3 on it.
Excellent. So you're
3d4s.
gonna be sniping as well. So those 3 4s, whatever the result is added. And now I turn to Bill Blake, I mean.
Yeah, so I've got the D6 for my name, D6 for my capability because this is challenge beast, right?
Yep.
Or is it deathmatch? Or is it if I use a gun, it becomes deathmatch?
It's a challenge beast challenge.
Okay. Got it.
But it is dangerous. So
yes,
if you fail, you're going to take an injury.
Got it. For career as a filmmaker, this is like a dystopian cyberpunk shootout with sure, it was with squibs, but still, I feel like I have an idea for that. So I'm going to use my pistol, one of my 2 pistols. And then I would like to use a trust point with Calvin to avoid damage or injury.
Okay.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
Okay. So Calvin. And then finally, I have a D10 I can use.
Yes. Do you wish
From
to
the
use
sledge.
it now? You can keep it, or you can
I guess.
it.
Well, since I can use the trust point with Calvin to avoid injury, I'll save that D10.
All right. And Bill.
Okay, I will use my name. Like I said, I was a retired high school teacher and I was a coach, so I'm good with physical challenge. I'm well built. And challenge beast is a D6. I will use a trust with Zane. To get an additional dice.
Yes, his name. So a D6.
Oh, D6.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, if I use a weapon, I have to switch to deathmatch, right? Or I can use weapons anytime. This part is
You
confusing.
can use weapons anytime. It just
Yeah.
means that when you use it, if you fail, you're definitely going to take an injury. Possibly an additional injury.
Yeah, I will probably be a pacifist right now. So
Okay.
it's 4d6.
Okay, everybody get ready to roll.
Did you what's the challenge?
Oh,
or,
yeah, I got to do that. Okay, I did it for the team, so I know what the teams are, and now I am going to add in the exhausting situation.
We should we know the challenge after we choose our dice, right? Or before?
Oh, I'm a naughty boy, aren't I? Yes, indeed. But sometimes I like to keep it a secret.
No, yeah.
But and other people have done the same. But yeah, here's the. Oh, and this is a challenge 5. There we go. 10.
Okay.
If anybody wants to de-escalate their roll, you certainly may, because I didn't give you this in the first place, but
I don't trust my
way
dice.
that I've been rolling, I'm definitely not.
all right. So everybody roll, please. Okay, so if I can get Calvin's number, please.
That is 12 plus 9. So
Nice.
21.
21. Zane.
14.
Okay. Bill.
10.
And Blake.
9.
No.
Oh my goodness.
A 1, 2, 3, and a 4.
Okay, so that was the that was the limit. All right. So, Blake, you did not do so well.
No.
There are shots being fired all around you. You are going to take an injury. So mark down the box on injury.
Now, the trust point I used with Calvin, is that...
Oh, does Calvin take the injury? Hold on. Block harm.
Or at the very least, it says he blocks it. That
they-
doesn't mean, I don't know if that means he takes it or if he
And
just
the
blocks it for me.
harm- Oh, the harm is avoided and they don't suffer either. So, yeah, describe how you avoid this injury.
Well, I charge into this thinking this is exactly like a movie. And then all of a sudden I discover that this is nothing like a movie. And I start to panic. And then just as I'm about to get crushed, Calvin grabs me by the scruff of my neck and pulls me out of the way. And I land in a pile of garbage.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm.
Yes, and that's our fail person. And but you do, because of failing, I think you do take a fatigue.
Okay.
It is quite tiring and
Yes.
exhausting rolling around. And you see Emily's team, and Emily's team is completely and totally struggling. To put it in numerical perspective, they rolled a 3, and there are at least out of the 8 odd people, 4 of them have been shot and or crushed. And so, and some of it has been actually led by someone else who is being not very loving, to say the least. And so we now turn to Bill. How did you succeed?
Just succeeding. I got something from the crates, but I was about to fall on the platform, but I just grabbed on the rails and continue my way.
Okay. Zane, you have succeeded. How did you succeed this time? What made it special? How did you get everything, all the chaos, the crushing people? What's going on? How did you succeed?
I just stand there and shooting at people and protecting our group.
So maybe you shot. Maybe you've shot one of Emily's people, and
Possible.
maybe maybe a couple of Eloise's people. You look over and you see that Eloise's group is not doing as well as you, Zane. They passed, but they're not doing as well as you, and you certainly have shot some of them in order to allow Calvin to grab Blake, but also to make his dreams come true. Blake, you're going to describe not just some of these rewards, but you have grabbed a M136AT4 rocket launcher. Can you describe to me how you've saved Blake and how you have discovered this, grabbed it, and saved the day with a massive 21?
So, the quick shuffle that there was to begin with, we set out the plan, right? We're just going for it. And through that, it was just, running to cover fire, checking, right? Moving here, moving there, seeing Blake over there and just kind of seeing that, he's found himself in a spot of trouble, right? Pop over there, like grab him, pick him out of the hole. Again, duck to cover, find the next one, go grab that crate and kind of getting out whilst also duck to cover, take a shot, duck to cover, take a shot. And then, either just do I open the crate while the challenge is still ongoing?
You just know that you've got the crate and you've helped Blake and it's
the crate says, it's like, warning, highly explosive, kind of like, it's just like, yes, this is exactly what we need. And so after everything is said and done and everyone kind of gets to walk away licking their wounds, the first team, obviously they get nothing, but Eloise's team, they've got their thing. At this point, we're now kind of like separating, going our own ways. So we all come together, and I'm just like, assume the other guys have also got crates, but this one here, I'm just like, guys, I think we've hit the mother lode. Crack open the crate and just pull out this rocket launcher, which I'm hoping has rockets with it.
And it does, and you should mark that down on your sheet. You also have 4 small luxuries that you can mark down, and you have 3 survival gears that you have, and the other group seems to have done well. Emily's group, not so much. And Emily's group, Eloise's group is very angry with you now because you certainly killed them, and they're jealous that you have a rocket launcher. Emily's group realizes that you are possibly their potential saviors, and if they're going to get off the island, they might as well stick with you. How do you want to distribute this? Calvin, you are the leader.
We all have at least 1 survival gear each already, don't we?
Yes, you do. That doesn't
2.
necessarily mean that you shouldn't have 1 or 2. But
2.
Up to you how you divvy them up.
Well, each of us get a small luxury.
Yes.
I'll divvy those out.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3 survival gears. Does any of us already have 2? I can't remember.
I have
You've
to.
got to. So we can all have the 2 each as well. The the invitation is there to was it Emily? Emily's group?
Yeah, she's the one that's looking for protection now.
Yeah. I'm happy for us to for us to be carrying them
Yeah.
for the
There's
time being.
there's 3 people kind of left in Emily's group. There's Emily herself. There is a gentleman named Dante. And there is another gentleman named Jack.
Okay.
Right.
And they are the only survivors of that group.
Okay.
Uh,
So
yes.
quick one. So I've used the sniper rifle once. It's got the 2 little triangles on it.
Yep. And so you've marked
Yeah, I've
off
crossed
one.
it off
Yeah,
one. So I get 1 more use out of it,
that's correct.
and it gives me the 3d4. Okay, cool. No, that's everything I needed.
So I'm gonna, before we start looking at where you're gonna go next, I'm gonna draw us to a close because it is after supper hour my time, bedtime for others. But we accomplished quite a bit. We did 3 nodes. I think you did really well in terms of getting into the swing of things. I think that minor problems will be avoided in the future, God willing, and we'll see how that goes. We're going to play next week if everybody can make it, and we'll continue our 2-shot of this this terrible junk island. And so I asked the players not to cheat and look it up, but it is there. But we do have different characters and different groups being used. So
how about the new followers for the challenge?
The new
I
followers.
think I got 10. I got 10, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, followers. Your things start beeping up a storm. Blake, you get 10,000 followers. Bill, you get 5,000 followers. Zane,
5?
yeah.
50.
Zane,
50,000.
50,000. Yeah, 50,000.
Okay.
Sorry. Zane, you get 50,000, and Calvin, you get 10,000. 100,000. Sorry. I feel like Austin Powers. $1 million. No, $1 billion. Yes, Bruce, you can cheat and look it up, but don't open all your luxury items at once. Thank you all for watching, and those in the future who are watching. I hope that everything has gone well. I know that the sound went out. I still don't understand why that is happening on my computer, but I'm trying to catch it sooner than later. So, take care. We'll see you all next week. So I'm just going to close down the stream.